Everyone here is talking about you.
So Nico Williams is a player that a lot of Man United fans and football fans in general have been talking about. He's a 21-year-old Spanish winger who is very similar in style to Ousmane Dembele, being comfortable with both feet to the point where it's hard to nail down which is actually his stronger foot. And this makes him the perfect versatile winger for Ten Hag, as he can play off either flank. And United don't currently have a winger like Williams, someone who is a pure natural winger, who isn't going to be looking to float inside between the lines and receive the ball in central positions, but who instead is going to look to hold an advanced wide position, looking to receive the ball to feet before isolating the fullback in a 1v1, wherefrom he can go down the outside or cutting on the inside on either flank, with his dribbling, trickery and acceleration being his best attributes. And we can see how good a ball progressor Williams is by looking at his FB ref report from the past 365 days when compared against every other attacking midfielder and winger in Europe's top 5 leagues, as he ranks in the mid 90th percentiles for his successful take-ons and his progressive carries, whilst also sitting in the 81st percentile for his carries into the final third and his carries into the penalty area. And so statistically, Williams is as good as you can get when it comes to being able to move the ball forward into dangerous positions with the ball at his feet. And later on in the video, I'll come on to how he can improve Ten Hag's side tactically, particularly against low defensive blocks. However, I do have a concern with Williams just purely from his numbers, but before I come on to that, if you want to pick up any Euro 2024 on new season jerseys, head over to Jersey FIFA, where they've got all the club and international retro jerseys as well. Use Atlantis at checkout for a discount. A link will be in my Instagram bio, which I will leave linked in the description. So the concern I do have with Williams is his end product and his overall output in the final third. Looking at his FB ref report, you can see compared to his dribbling and ball carrying metrics, he looks somewhat underwhelming, sitting in just the 44th percentile for his non-penalty goals with 0.20 per 90 and the 62nd percentile for his non-penalty XG with 0.24 per 90, which he does slightly underperform. His XG assisted does rank around the mid 60th percentiles again, showing that Williams still has a level to go up in terms of his chance creating output, although he is still only 21, and so factoring that in, I'm not as concerned as I would be if he was say 26 or 27. And given that he also ranks in the 99th percentile for his crosses into the box, the 79th for his passes into the penalty area, and the 90th percentile for his expected assists, Williams is clearly capable of playing a significant role in the build-up of the attack, but he's not yet at the stage in his development where he's going to be able to come in and fully replace Rashford's output in the final third, which does make me sceptical as to whether he would be alone a direct replacement for Rashford. And this is because Williams is a completely different type of wide attacker to Rashford. Rashford is a wide forward, someone whose main output is not going to come from his ball progression or chance creation, but instead for his goal output directly. Essentially, he takes on the goal scoring burden of a centre forward, whereas this isn't Williams' game. In terms of the runs that both players make and the areas of the pitch you want them moving into, Williams and Rashford just aren't the same. And so I think if you're only signing Williams, he probably comes into the team on the right ahead of Ahmad, with Rashford still on the left. Williams will hold the width in the system and provide an outlet on the flanks, whereas Rashford, whilst he may start in a similarly wide position, is instead going to be looking to move inside and make diagonal runs on the inside of his fullback, looking to get in behind the back line and into goal scoring positions. With the ball at their feet inside the final third in a wide position, Williams is going to be looking to break down the outside of the fullback and get into crossing positions, whereas Rashford is either going to be looking for the over or the underlapping run to then thread a ball in behind the fullback, or look to use that run as a decoy before cutting inside into a shooting position. And this is where we come on to the tactical benefit of having Nico Williams in Ten Hag's United side. See, against sides that are going to reduce the space between the lines in the centre of the pitch by dropping off and sitting in a compact defensive unit, it becomes a lot harder to progress the ball through their defensive shape, compared with if they're looking to engage you higher up the pitch, because of course there's more space in behind the midfield or defensive lines for you to take advantage of, and so having a direct ball carrier like Nico Williams can offer you a different solution to this ball progression problem. But it's not just as simple as giving him the ball and hoping he can perform some magic to create a chance. You need to use positional play and rotations in order to create the optimal situation for him to be able to do this, and the optimal situation is when he's isolated 1v1 against a player. And you can use a pattern of play that I've seen other analysts refer to as a yo-yo, where you are looking to keep the ball on one side of the pitch in order to slowly drag the opposition defensive shape over to that side before you can then look to exploit the lack of players on the other side of the pitch by keeping Nico Williams wide and looking to use a quick switch of play to get him in possession and able to isolate the fullback in a 1v1. When the pass goes into Williams, he's always assessing the situation as to whether this is the right opportunity to take on his man, and when he does do this, his speed, two-footedness and close ball control makes him incredibly unpredictable, as he can burn you down the outside or feint as though he's going to go down the line, unbalancing the defender before chopping back on the inside. And I certainly think that this would solve a problem that United have with their wide attackers, which is that they don't have any elite level direct dribblers, as Rashford always seems hesitant to take on his man and just isn't decisive enough in general, whilst Garnacho's dribbling style is still very chaotic and not as controlled, leading to him losing the ball a lot of the time, whereas Ahmad and Anthony on the right just don't really have the blistering acceleration or the ability to go down the outside on their right, and so instead they definitely need runners ahead of them. Stick Williams on either United's right or left flank, and now instantly you significantly improve your ability to progress the ball into a dangerous position or create a chance from these wide positions in the final third. Now whilst at the moment I don't think Williams is as good as say a Kvaratskhelia or even Lamine Yamal at drifting in field from the flank and receiving the ball not entirely with his back to goal, but slightly turned with the fullback on his back, and just as I spoke about in my analysis video of Amad Diallo and Bukayo Saka a few months ago, which will be linked in the description, receive the ball on the turn and with one touch, taking it in his stride, turning quickly and driving the ball into the space in front of the back line. However, he is still fairly competent at doing this, and without doubt he can improve this over the next few seasons. And so overall I am a massive fan of Nico Williams and would consider signing him for his reported £47 million release clause. However, it not only depends on the future of Rashford, but also what type of centre forward United need to sign, as I don't think that Williams is a better option than Rashford if a striker like Joshua Zirkzee is signed, as Zirkzee needs at least one of the wide attackers to be able to shift in centrally and make runs in behind the back line, in order to counteract his deeper movement into the midfield, and whilst Williams can do this, his movement and finishing in front of goal is not at Rashford's level. However, Williams is far better than Rashford when it comes to holding a wide position on the outside of the fullback and receiving the ball either to feet, where he can then look to beat the fullback in a 1v1, or in behind making a quick run off of the fullback, but ultimately looking to get in a crossing position either down the outside or on the inside from either flank. And so I think rather than a withdrawn centre forward, essentially a false 9 type, such as Joshua Zirkzee, who United have been linked with, Nico Williams would be better alongside more of a target man or advanced forward, just like Rasmus Højlund, Alvaro Morata or Cyril Guirassy. Someone who is usually going to be occupying a high position between the two centre-backs of the opposition, who can also drop off to receive long balls and long passes from deeper positions, and being able to utilise their physicality to not only win the duel but also efficiently link play, and that's exactly what Alvaro Morata did to an incredibly high level against Italy, as at times he was being used as kind of an old school target man, receiving long balls from the goalkeeper, centre-backs or full-backs and winning the physical battle more often than not against Bastoni, certainly in the first half anyway, which allows Spain to progress the ball from the defensive to the middle third, taking Italy's high midfield line out of the game, and then because of Nico Williams' high and wide position on the outside of Di Lorenzo, with Yamal doing the same on the opposite flank in Spain's front three, when Morata was then able to retain possession with a layoff, Spain's midfield three of Rodri, Fabian Ruiz and Pedri could then look to switch the ball directly out to Williams as the outlet on the far side, from where the 21-year-old is more than capable of providing the directness and pace to get the ball into a dangerous crossing position. And so I think that Nico Williams could massively improve United's ability to progress the ball, not just into the final third but also into chance creating and goal scoring positions against both deep defensive blocks when United need to break down a defensive unit with controlled possession, or against high pressing sides where United can look to transition the attack quickly through the space in the centre and get the ball out to Nico Williams a bit earlier in a deeper position on the flank. In a future video I'm going to be looking at how I think Zirkzee could get the best out of Rashford, and so make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the bell for that, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below.